Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. Let me take this time to welcome all the returning subscribers, and if you are new, you are so welcome, and to all the viewers. We just want to take this time to encourage you to subscribe to this channel and become part of our family. You know me very well. We're bringing another important topic. I think it is very important because it affects each and every one of us, and we're going to be talking about, no, in fact, I have a guest. Like I normally tell you guys, I'm not an expert in these things. I bring people who have gone through the things we'll be talking about. So today we're going to be talking about childhood traumas. My guest is going to be taking you through her story, and at the end of the day, she's going to be telling you how she found her identity after dealing with her childhood traumas. I said I believe every one of us is affected by this topic, because as we were children, we had to experience some events that resulted in emotionally and distressful effects in our lives, and they affected our emotions and our physical being. And when we are as old as we are, we're still stuck in what we went through. So today is the day that we're going to be unpacking this topic. My guest is the one who's going to be unpacking it for you according to her, what she has gone through, how she's dealing with it, how she's coping, and how she's managing it. And without wasting your time, I'm just going to welcome her to our platform.
Thank you so much for having me.
You are welcome. Can you please introduce yourself to our viewers?
Okay. My name is Dimpho Molefi. Born in Matukwani, and I was raised in Mgoditani in a Christian family.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm a mother.
Yeah.
I'm an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an aspiring author, and also a YouTuber.
Yes. I brought a YouTuber today, so we're going to be sailing, ladies. Just watch this, please. Yeah. Dimpho, can you please take us through your story of childhood traumas?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it all started when I was 2 years old. We were living in a neighborhood in Mogoditani. Yes, and a neighbor of mine who happened to be a bit older than me. He was a young boy also, but he was much older than I was.
Yeah.
Sexually molested me. I do not have much memory of when it started or how long it took, but I have flashbacks of some of the events, and I really did not know that this had affected my life, because I grew up to think that it was my fault, and that maybe somehow I had consented to it. Yes. And this event started a series of other traumas that happened in my life, because at the age of 8 I lost my father, and the pain of loss just became fuel. Like it fueled up the trauma that I had already had. Yes. And it affected the way I looked at myself.
Exactly.
It affected the way I presented myself to people. It affected the way I also treated other people. Yes. So that is, in a nutshell, my story of what had happened in my childhood.
So before maybe you continue, maybe you can take us to the first incident of your sexual abuse. Did it happen once, or it was just a series of?
Like I said, I don't have a good memory of what had happened, because firstly I was young, and also trauma, the way our mind works, we try to suppress some of the memories. Yes. So I remember some of the flashbacks that I remember I can see that they were in different places and at different times. That's why I'm saying I don't remember when it started or how long it took. Yes, but I remember that it did happen a couple of times.
So did any of your parents or guardian pick that thing up? Or you shared, or you told somebody? You can't remember that as well?
I never told my mother about it.
Okay.
Yes, at the time, because I had blamed myself.
At 2 years old?
At 2 years. I believe that maybe I had consented to it. And the longer I kept it a secret, the more I blamed myself for it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if my mother could pick anything at the time, but I never really shared with anyone.
So you also shared that you also lost your father when you were 8 years old.
Yes.
And how did this experience affect you in your life generally, your relationships and all that?
Yes, you should understand that a father to a daughter is a hero. I had lost my hero. I had lost my security. I was not safe. I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel confident. I didn't feel like I was able to do anything. I would be looking at maybe my close relatives or cousins who had their fathers. And then when they speak about their fathers and I knew that my father was no more, it really broke my self-esteem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, and it because I already had trauma that had happened at 2. Now this was fuel being added to an already burning fire.
Exactly. So how did the sexual abuse affect your life, or was it the only incident, or there were some sexual abuses flowing from the first incident?
Because of the first one,
Yeah.
I realized that I allowed myself to be abused by even more people. Yes, because while I was still in primary school, I don't remember the exact age, but my mother had hired a combi for me to transport me to school. So there was the driver and the conductor. So one day I was on the afternoon shift. So I was the first one to be picked up. And I remember the conductor touching my little titties at that time and saying, you are now growing and we're just about to start touching them. And I never even told my mother about that because I thought it was the norm.
Exactly.
That's just how it is. Men take advantage of us and it's just fine. That's how life is.
So from the sexual abuse, you accept everything that happens because you believe no,
this is how we're supposed to live. Even the relationships that I got into, relationship abusive, and I would allow that and stay in that because I thought it was normal. This is how I'm supposed to be treated.
So now, after having gone through this and all the relationships, obviously they had to fail because they were not started on a good foundation, or the perpetrators at some point you had to pull out of those situations. Where are you right now in your life? When did you see that you needed to confront all these past hurts?
Last year during the lockdown, there were so many reports on child abuse, on domestic violence, and it triggered me. It triggered the pain that I had ignored for so many years. Because I got to think about the child who was locked in the house with the perpetrator, and I put myself in that situation, and it got me to realize that I had not healed. And because I didn't know any better, I tried to deal with it on my own. But as I was doing that, I was hurting myself because I now started spiraling down into depression. It started first with anxiety. I would have anxiety attacks. I would have panic attacks. I would remember sometimes I would just be walking and I would remember his voice, my first abuser's voice. I would have flashbacks. I would remember his smell, and it was so traumatic. At the time, it was so painful. And then as the anxiety continued, I realized I came to a point where I could not function at all. It was very bad. I could not function. I could not sleep. I could not eat. And because I'm a mother, I could not be a mother anymore.
God. Yes. Now, as you are saying those things, I'm imagining what the lockdown has done to so many people.
Yeah.
Because it took a lockdown for you. For you to get triggers, and for you to realize that there are some things that I've never dealt with, and now that you raised the fact that you failed to even be a mother, how did this whole traumas affect your mothering? Like, did it affect how you are parenting your children, because you have a daughter and you have a son?
Yes, it really did. And at first, I didn't even realize that it was affecting me, because I would never allow my children to play with other kids without me watching over them. I would never allow my kids to go anywhere. I always felt the need to protect them. Yes, because I always felt that what had happened to me too would also happen to them. So I tried by all means to cover them and protect them. Yes, but I needed to understand that I cannot be able to do that, because they go to school, and there are times when I'm here, I cannot be watching them, and I needed to accept that I need to trust God on this. Yes, and the thing with trauma is that it makes you to lose trust in God, because you start to think, if God allowed that to happen to me, then why should I trust him? And that's how it damages our identity.
Because you are like, God, if you are the Almighty God, you should have stood up and protected this,
and protected
and I shouldn't have gone through this if you were there. So in a way, it affects the way you look at the God. Yes. And before I took you back to your how it affected your parenting skills, you were talking about how you got triggers now during the lockdown, and you delve into depression, and right now I don't know if you are still managing or taking medication for your depression and stuff like that.
Yes. In September this year, I started counseling at Marina. I think it's very important for people to know that there is free counseling in Botswana, because I took a very long time dealing with depression on my own, not knowing that there are free resources, because I did not have the funds at the time. Yes, so it's very important that people should know that there are free resources in Botswana where you can get counseling. So I was privileged to go for counseling at Marina, and it has really transformed my life, because I was going downhill. But now I'm going uphill. I can see that there's a lot of change in my life in just in 3 months. Yes, I have seen a lot of change in my life. But with counseling, it scratches the bruises. So sometimes people think that counseling does not work, because at the beginning it is very painful. It is so painful. You have to deal with every trauma one by one for you to get healing.
Every detail of
the incident. Yes. So it was very painful. This has been the most difficult months of my life.
Yeah.
Yes, but I'm so grateful to say now that I'm seeing breakthrough.
Yes.
I'm seeing light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes.
Last month I was diagnosed with severe depression, which resulted in me getting to deal with the trauma, because now my body could not handle it anymore. But I needed that for me to get healing. So I'm still in the healing process, and I believe that God is taking me higher, and I'm better than where I was last year, and I'm still striving towards better health.
Wow, Dimpho. Yes. Wow, this is a powerful story, because I really don't know at all what lockdown. What would have happened?
Yes.
Because you would not have dealt with these things.
Would have not.
Yeah, this is a powerful story, because I like the fact that there was a trigger. You saw there was a need for you to deal with it, and you have seen that there's counseling that is helping you to unravel all these other things. And what can you say now that you're saying that, you know what, you're telling my family here that I've had childhood traumas, but I have found myself. Can you please just in a nutshell, take us through your journey of finding yourself now?
What the Lord has really taught me in this time of healing is that the devil wants to take away our identity.
Exactly.
He really wants to rob us of our identity.
Exactly.
Because if we do not know who we are not able to stand for ourselves.
Exactly.
And stand against the plans of the enemy.
Exactly.
So he fights against us with everything that he can to rob us of our identity. And finding healing is finding your identity. It is important for us to find our identity, because if I did not start this healing process, I would not be here right now. I would have not even started writing the book. I didn't even tell you that I started writing a book on my healing process, which I believe is going to impact a lot of people. So sometimes the devil just wants to hold us back, but I know healing is painful, but it is worth the cost that comes at the end. So I'm just encouraging everyone to pursue healing in any way or form that you may feel is relevant for you.
Exactly.
Yes, because when I started my healing process, God told me to start writing a book. And I was saying, God, I think these are things that people do at the end of the healing process. Yes, but he said to me that you should write this book, because it is with this book that you will find healing. So each and every one of us has their own path. They have their own process. So learn to trust the process of God about your life, the plan of God, the path that God chooses for your life. Find healing and find your true identity in Christ, because our identity is not in our past, it's not in our failures, it's not in our flaws, but our identity is in Christ Jesus.
What more can I say, guys? Like, really, what more can I say? But the last question, Dimpho.
Yes.
Why did you decide to share this story? Because it's not an easy thing to share what you have gone through. What is it that you want these people to take away from your story?
The reason why I shared the story is that I'm tired of the devil destroying our lives. I'm tired of the devil just playing around with our lives. You know, it's not enough just to go to church to minister and go back home and still be broken. Because it's not only me. These are issues that we often leave out in church.
Exactly.
And as Christians, we believe that we are somehow
that when you get saved, everything
when we get saved, everything just works out.
Yes.
We forget that healing is important.
Exactly.
So the reason why I'm sharing this story is just to allow somebody else out there to know that it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to face trauma, and it's okay to be in a difficult time, as long as you find your healing, as long as you trust that God will be able to heal you, and you follow the path which God has called for you.
Wow. Hey, guys, this has been so beautiful. I told you when I started my YouTube channel that I wanted to embark on a journey of healing, and every installment I go through the process of healing. And with Dimpho today, oh my goodness, it was power packed. And I just want to say this: there's a beauty in your brokenness. You know what happened to you, what you went through when you were growing up? You did not choose it. Maybe it was beyond your control. Don't stay right there. Do something about it. It took a lockdown for her to get triggers. If you've had triggers in your life, don't ignore them. It is the time for you to confront everything that you have gone through. Like she was saying, don't please the devil. There is so much in store waiting for you. You have to work in your purpose. There is a reason why you are still alive. The reason why you tried to commit suicide, but you did not commit suicide. There's a reason why you are still alive. So I'm just going to urge you guys today that take your time. Deal whatever you're going through. She was saying we deal with our issues differently. Go for counseling, or if you can't go for counseling, talk to somebody. At least talk to somebody. Take it out of you. It has been so beautiful. I really loved your story. You have really encouraged me, and I really you encouraged me to continue on this journey of healing. And I just want to say thank you so much for deciding to watch this channel. And you know how we do it. Engage with us on the comment section. State your thoughts or what you have gone through and how you have coped with it, how you have managed it, your story in the comment section, so you can heal the next person. And like and share this video, and most importantly, please subscribe to our channel so that we can grow together. Thank you so much.